Yeah, that's me. Now you're probably wondering, how did I get here? Well, we're gonna have to go back. Back to childhood. Back to 1080p. Back to the Panasonic GH2. What's up, guys? We're just here with the GH5. There's been a lot of hype about its 8-bit, 10-bit capabilities. So we're gonna test it out. We're gonna pit the GH5 head against itself with the Atomos Ninja Flame internal 10-bit codec against its uncompressed 10-bit output sent to this. So the purpose of this test is to see how necessary recording to an external device like this might be when doing something particularly demanding like chroma key. That's where you're gonna really fight the macro blocking. Let's get down to it.
Pure science.
I'd take the time to show this wonderful feature. We've got a waveform right here. So it makes me a little less reliant on some of the tools that we have in the Atomos.
Nice.
It's very nice. This side needs to be a bit brighter. Yeah, moving that in.
That's how you get a nice even green.
We've got an even green screen. So we are in UHD 10-bit 24p mode. What do you guys like? You like PRORES or DNXHR?
A clue!
Oh, really? We'll start with that. PRORES HQ and 422, and we're gonna test DNXHR, HQX, HQ, and maybe SQ. I guess could you muscle your hair a bit? 422. Now we're shooting DNXHR HQX. So this is a fancy 12-bit mode. All right, this is DNXHR HQ, which it looks like HQ and HQX are the same bit rate, so. Okay, so this is DNXHR standard quality. Let's go check out the results. What key's the best? And I'll be the judge. Here we got the PRORES HQ, everyone's favorite codec, except for all you PC dummies. Why would you use a PC? Well, there is a bit of a color difference, which is the most obvious difference. The internal looks a bit brighter, maybe a bit more contrasty.
Look at the detail in this section. Now look at that.
Oh my goodness! Is it? Let me add a little contrast and maybe a little sharpening to the other one. Let me just exposure compensation. That will. Okay, well, I got it to the point where I feel like we're getting a similar level of detail there. Maybe I've over sharpened a bit, but that's the point. As soon as I add enough sharpening to get the detail in the hair to seem like it's emulating the amount of detail here, it does bad things to the skin. It's just hard to believe it's, you know, it's more detailed in the internal. A 1.7 gigabyte file
for the external. Yeah.
This is only half a gig. So yeah, it is roughly a quarter the size. I mean, look right here, pixel peep right here. Kind of the opacity there. Now look at the same lock there. HDMI exposed. Now this could just be PRORES, so let's check the DNX HR footage and see if that rendering is better. Nearly identical. The DNXHR is doing better than the PRORES. The externally recorded footage is a bit sharper in the hair, comparatively increased quality.
We're at least getting increased sharpness. I don't want to necessarily
okay, you're right.
assume
right.
that don't see much difference in terms of pulling a key. For us, the question is not necessarily like, is this any better than this? Because it's maybe potentially slightly better, slightly sharper, but is it worth that 3 times the space it's going to take up on the hard drive just to get that extra little 1% of sharpness? In a situation like this with a key isn't even necessarily helping us. The takeaway is really that the internal is quite good, at least compared to whatever signal it's sending out via the HDMI.
I think the last thing to check would be the DNXHR mode. I think that's noticeably worse, even to my eye. Look at this. Look at the skin.
The noise looks a little bit more offensive.
The gradation in the skin, not nearly as smooth.
Again, it looks like maybe it's a tad sharper, but not in a good way. To even get it so that it's just like the same, or maybe a slightly better, you have to be shooting the highest codecs on the recorder, and you're paying for it, you know, in storage space. And if you go any lower than that, 422 or something, then you get a bit more of a noticeable loss. The internal is quite good, at least compared to whatever signal it's sending out the HDMI.
It's more detailed in the internal. I think that's noticeably worse.
The internal is quite good.
Where did it go?
What are you looking for? Hope that was, what are you looking at?
I think that's noticeably worse. More detail in the internal.
You looking for this?
Oh yeah.
You're upset because the camera you bought is
Don't interrupt me.
So good you have to you don't need your recorder anymore?
I have been taught from a very young age about bit rate, about bit depth.
The GH5 10-bit internal kind of negates the need for a recorder, and so you're going to be able to sell it and get some of your money back.
It's so good that just destroys conventional wisdom. It's so damn good, Thomas.
Well, I understand why that would be upsetting.
But yeah, I gotta sell this thing, man. I gotta sell this thing before the market goes away. So barely used. Look at all this caddies. It comes with a manual. I think it's the presentation. You know, Macintosh could really take a page from that is solid, man. You could. Like new condition, my loss is your gain. MSRP $1,000, like new, pre-loved. So we're charging the MSRP price.